Hello, welcome to this new module in which we will see the following two steps into the digital transformation plan. Up to now, we have seen strategy, digital marketing, digital customer journey, and data analysis. Now we will see the enablers, which means the things that we have to have in order to provide all the following things that we have seen in the classes up to now. And basically are two. That means the systems, the technology, and the people, the infrastructure, and to implement an agile culture, being able to react to what is needed from the customer. We will first into understanding what new generation infrastructure we need to implant into organization, what changes are needed into the IT, the information technology, and then we will move into understanding what is needed from people and the changes in the culture and in the way we work. Well, starting in the IT, what usually happens is that most of the companies that are more traditional, usually they have IT departments that are not prepared for the speed and flexibility required due to the design-oriented in the changes of the customer. The customer changes very fast, the market changes very fast, and the traditional way to develop systems and software in companies is rigid. It's based on legacy systems that usually are very inflexible. They are not based on APIs, so in order to change the system, you must change almost everything. And also is very based on traditional ways to develop software. Basically, this is the cascade method in which it is based that you have to have everything very absolutely very prepared before you launch the service, but it's very slow, it's very rigid, and at the end what happens is that the customer is only at the beginning, in case it is, and it didn't see the output until 6 months maybe, which is very late, but also as he was not involved in the development of the software, usually what happens is that what you receive is not what you were expecting. So that's the reason why in the new ways in which we provide IT departments in the companies, new practices are required, which are basically first to have everything in the cloud. That means to have as a provider as Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure. That means you don't have to buy the machines and to have the processors and the memory in your buildings, but you only pay for what you use. And it's always redundant and it's much better, and everybody is moving all the IT into the cloud. Then you don't do all yourself. You are based in providers, but you support them. You really have them working with your teams in what is called DevOps or development operations, really being able to work with third parties and really integrate them into your company. And also, of course, by having new generation software, all the data is integrated among all platforms and is consistent between all channels, allowing omni-channel experience and allowing to record all the data from everything that the customer does. And basically, to change the team, to change the methods, that is what we will see in the following chapter. And also, by having this, you will have great benefits. You have to invest, of course, on CapEx, some investment, but you will have huge benefits. First, you will have a more transparent kind of working and infrastructure. That means that all the data will be traceable from one side to the other part of the company. Also, you will have greater computer storage efficiency, demand managed consumption, and optimized delivery models, allowing to have to reduce cost and be more transparent, as we were speaking before. Also, you will improve the service. You will have regional help desk supporting all local languages. You will enhance into having a target service with increased presence and increased levels of response of the new systems compared, of course, with the old ones. Imagine when you are changing whatever technology that you are changing from one to another, usually the new one is much better, faster, being able to respond much better and in a much faster way than the previous one you were having. Of course, you will have greater flexibility. Basically, by having the latest technology, your deployments of equipments and everything will give access to a better technology. And also because you are having a more pay-as-you-go service model, especially with cloud, you will have a demand-driven pay, which basically will improve the economics of your investment in IT. And finally, because these new technologies are more based on the new threats that you can have in the digital environment today, they will be more secure. So basically, you will reduce cost, you will improve the service, you will be more flexible, and you will be more secure. And that's not the most important thing. Basically, everybody can buy new technology and put it into the organization. What is really difficult and where most of the companies struggle to really deliver this digital transformation is in the people, is in changing the organization, the culture, and implanting new agile models in order to work. The methodology is very, very nice to see and to speak about, but it's really difficult to really implement it into the transitions today. And basically, it's not. I'm sharing these ideas with you. If you speak with different CEOs from different sectors, basically is what they say. They say that the need of radically retain and upgrade the skills of employees is the greatest challenge we'll face on your careers. Or for example, that digital challenge doesn't stay long because there is nowhere for them to grow, or that the innovation committee sits on an ivory tower and it isn't close enough to the real customer needs, or maybe that we are going to see more changes in the financial services in the next 5 years that we saw in the past 30 years, or it is not technology that's the hard part, but the culture change, which is really the hard part. At the end, those are different quotes for very top people trying to accomplish digital transformation, and basically they all agree that people and teams is the most difficult part, is the key asset, the key part in order to make your digital transformation happen. And what happens if you try to apply what we were speaking before, the cascade method to deploy software in a company? Well, what usually happens is that you found yourself that the customer at the very beginning wasn't explaining very well what he wanted, that the project leader didn't understood, that the analyst didn't write it exactly as the customer wanted, that the programmer wrote it in a different way. Of course, and it was a consultant, that the business consultant described it very, very nicely. This is how it was documented. This is how it was installed. This is how it was built to the customer, how it was supported, and what the customer really wanted. So, in order to try to avoid this and try to avoid working like in a cascade method, which is the traditional one, and is like going by parts and you don't interact with the customer until the very end, let's work like people were doing a painting. That means that first you have a minimum viable product, which is called an MVP, and you check it with the customer. Once the customer agrees, then you go into a better option, a better derivable from the minimum viable product, and you go step by step going forward, meeting the final product, but always interacting in sprints with your final customer. And there are different methods in order to provide this. The most popular ones probably are Lean Startup. In order to have a startup and entrepreneurship is the one I will recommend to you. If you are working in engineering, I think that Kanban is probably the best one. And the most popular one is Scrum. Okay, Scrum is, how people are usually very close together when they are playing rugby. And this is how a team in a Scrum should be working, very close together. And basically, they will be working, having to deliver a product with a lot of things. This is what we call the backlog. And we plan how much we want to accomplish of this backlog in each one of the sprints. Each one of the sprints will be around 2 weeks. Okay, and every 2 weeks we have what we call the sprint review with the product owner or the internal customer, and we will deliver what we have accomplished in the product for the last 2 weeks. In order to being able to deliver this output, all the team will have a daily meeting every 24 hours. And in this meeting, everybody in the team will share how much they have go forward from the last day. So everybody is really working together and having a meeting every day. And at the end of the project, finally, you have a product, but this product is really the one that the customer was looking for, because before having the product, he has go through maybe, I don't know, 6-7 different sprint reviews in which he was able to say, okay, I want it like this or no, or negotiate even the backlog or how long it's going to take or how much you're going to spend into the project. And regarding the team, this team is called Scrum, you know, like in the rugby, everybody very close together, because people is not supposed to be involved in the team. Nobody is involved, but everybody is committed. Okay, everybody is really committed. This is as English say in the breakfast. It is like the chicken is involved. We don't want chickens into the Scrum team. What we want is porks. Okay, because in the breakfast, the pork is committed. The chicken is only involved. We want porks, we don't want chickens. And examples, you have so many. I mean, a lot of organizations are really applying Agile, but maybe one of the most radical views or approaches of these ones is ING. ING has applied it to all the organizations around the world, and people are not anymore you know, directors. They are like responsible for squads or for chapters or tribe leads or agile coach, a product owner or chapter lead. And they have completely changed all the organization into around like 350 squads of 9 people more or less each, of 13 tribes. And everybody is working in these ways. They are working in projects in order to deliver what is must be accomplished, and always working objective oriented, which is the main approach of this new methodology. And if a traditional bank is able to do so, I'm sure that you can do it in your organization. Are you working in Agile? Probably you should. Well, thank you so much. I hope you like it. We have shared in this video basically the main concepts in order to deliver infrastructure and Agile culture into your organization. But of course, if you have any doubt or you need anything, here I leave you again my contact details. Thank you very much. It was my pleasure. Thank you.